This is just a little recap of where we've come from. So we noticed our stress, we noticed our dysregulation, we breathed to regulate. And then now we're going to talk about using triage care checkpoints. So we talked about triage care and what that is. I want to create some checkpoints throughout your day where this can become a habit. And I like to call this walking yourself back home, walking ourselves back home. When we're in places of stress, we have left ourselves and we're maybe in the future, in the past, in other people's business. And this is the practice of walking ourselves back to caring for ourselves. So I want to introduce you to a researcher, teacher by the name of BJ Fogg. He is in your resource guide. I love his work on habit creation. And I just want to pick out one piece of it to talk about today, which is his idea of anchors. So an anchor is a predictable, reoccurring moment throughout your days that can trigger you to practice your triage care. So just to break that down. So the triage care is this one breath body scan. It's that 16-second practice where you breathe in, you hold it in the area of tension, you breathe out, and you enjoy the relaxation for a second. That's it. That's the triage care. We're going to now anchor this. We're going to figure out where in our day can we make a habit of doing that breath. And the reason that we want to make it a habit is so we don't have to think about it. So it's not one more thing to add to your to-do list. One of my goals in all of my teaching is that self-care does not just feel like one more thing to do, that it actually becomes a part of how we show up for ourselves and how we care for ourselves. And creating habits is one way to make that really seamless and a lot less work. Okay, so our days are made up of habits. They're full of habits. We just need to be intentional about what those habits are. We want to create habits that are aligned with our goals and our values so that it naturally brings us more close to what we're trying to accomplish. During emergencies or times of stress, if you have habits in place that help to keep you going, that help to refill you or care for you, then your mind can be freed up to focus on the emergency or the situation at hand. This reduces decision fatigue. So helpful habits preserve our energy. We want to create habits of self-care. So one of the ways to do this is by identifying triage care checkpoints throughout the day. So what these are, like I said, these are predictable moments that happen throughout your days. These are habits that you already have that you can tie a new habit to, okay? We're going to anchor this triage care practice to an existing habit. So some of these existing habits, anchors, checkpoints, are, well, these are some examples. At home, maybe your alarm clock in the morning, that's one. Pushing the button on the coffee maker, going to the bathroom, washing your hands. We're doing a lot of hand washing right now. That could be a beautiful anchor for doing this in-breath triage care practice while you're washing your hands. Super easy. You just got to connect them. Brushing teeth. This is a habit for most of us. We're brushing our teeth. We're not adding it to our to-do list or thinking about it. It's something that we do in the course of the day. Getting into bed. So there's all these little moments that are happening in our days. So you can start to list, what are your anchors? What are your potential checkpoints? So number 5 on your handout asks you to list 3 to 5 possible triage care checkpoints. List as many as you can think of, because these can be helpful for other habits that you want to create too. Also think about different contexts, different environments that you're in. So maybe home is one. We're probably doing a lot at home right now, but maybe you go to a different place for work. So this might be your commute there. It might be arriving at the job. And it's really great to make these very specific. So I said commute, but that's a really long period of time. It's sort of nebulous. A better anchor might be when I turn off the car. Suppose if you drive, when I turn off the car, that's my anchor. So it's a really specific action. So arriving, maybe when I pull into the parking spot or turn off my car, going to the bathroom. So maybe it's like actually when I turn the handle or of the bathroom door, or when I stand up from my chair at work, or when I sit back down. So break, beginning, and end time can be a very specific one, especially if you're clocking in and clocking out, or if you have some kind of action, you know, like if I'm at VRS, then maybe I take off my headset, and that is the moment where I know I do my triage care. If it, also at VRS, and this may apply to other types of remote interpreting, the ring, if you're ringing, whether it's with your hands or on the screen, but that moment of time, that's a time where you can be attending to yourself. When you're on hold, as soon as the call disconnects and you say goodbye and they hang up, you have that moment. These can become anchors for your triage care practice. And if you're doing this throughout the day, then you're attending to the stress cycle so that you can complete it, and it's not building up inside of you. So go ahead and write down 3 to 5 potential triage care checkpoints for your typical workday. And just looking at time, if you would share a few in the comments, that would be great so that we can all share some more ideas. I've started us off here, but there is an infinite amount of examples for this. So what are you finding? What are your triage care checkpoints? Logging on for an assignment. Beautiful. Yeah, very specific. So great. And you know what that looks like, whether it's a click of your mouse, or maybe it's the push of the button to turn on the computer. Whatever that really specific action is, that's what you're going to tie this breath to. You're going to start practicing. When I push the button, I do this process. So that's the tie that's going to happen. What's another one? Anyone else have another example? Refilling my water bottle. Beautiful. So that's getting you more water, which is another fantastic and essential self-care practice. And walking in and out of a doorway. Great. Yeah, connecting spaces with these practices can be really powerful. Beautiful. Any more that you can share? Or any questions too, because sometimes anchors can bring up some questions. And as you start practicing these, come back to, like I said, this is all going to be in our course, in the self-care for stressful times course, and come back to the lesson and type in the comments if you tried this out. What kind of anchors did you use, or what tripped you up? What do you have questions about? Like, keep that conversation going there. Here's another one: starting my car and AC after a community appointment. Yeah, great, super specific. I think you all got this.